For advanced students who have accessed the Buddhic light, the path remains long and arduous before they reach full illumination. The reason why is that the habitual tendency to attach to phenomena is great. As a consequence, it will take a long time to overcome the seductive pull of phenomena. In many instances, advanced students will be tested. Like the Buddha when he sat under the Bodhi tree, who fought the army of Mara the Evil One, the advanced student will confront real evil for the first time. If not managed well, this confrontation can be a cause to abandon communion with the Buddhic light. At this stage, great faith is required. In the Avatamsaka scripture, it says regarding faith,
"Faith is the source of the way and the mother of all benefit. It causes all the roots of goodness to wax. It extinguishes all doubts. It reveals the peerless way and makes it to increase."
According to the ancients, faith is a vital, substantial connection with the Buddhic light, which amounts to a kind of proof. By faith, we can determine if we have true knowledge or not, for faith is superior to knowledge as its test of truth. In other words, we can decide what is true or false only by faith. To deepen faith, the advanced student must implicitly trust the words of the Buddhas, and those words well spoken by the holy sages who have accessed the profundity of the light. Indeed, as the Buddha said, words well spoken are the words of the Buddha. If we think about the words of the wise, their illumination will come to be near to us, serving to bring us benefit. As a result, our faith will even be more strengthened. On the other hand, if we continually think about the ways of the world, trusting in it, we shall never fully awaken because we shall be close to those who are bound to samsara, who have no wish to become liberated from its chains. Faith, alone, can keep opening the once closed doors of the corporeal prison, letting in more spiritual light. For the advanced student, a new vision of Buddhism eventually emerges as his faith deepens. He comes to see that true Buddhism is about the will, which we earlier said was the Sanskrit word citta, which is often translated as mind by scholars. This is a very important concept for the advanced student to grasp, who senses the Buddhic light, which is like pure will, for as the Buddha beheld the world, he saw that its substance, the will, is blindly striving to find fulfillment for itself. In this respect, each of us is a part of that will attempting to achieve some measure of fulfillment. Incidentally, this is our common goodness because we all seek fulfillment and relief from the oppression of dissatisfaction. If there is any evil, if we may call it that, it is that we don't believe in complete fulfillment. Instead, we seek imperfect fulfillment and, as a consequence, endure endless suffering. By being immersed in the Buddhic light, the advanced student sees, like the Buddha, that the will has constructed many forms of possible fulfillment. For each constructed thing there was a willingness to achieve fulfillment. But the Buddha found that all will constructions, namely phenomena, will never lead to actual fulfillment. All are doomed to impermanence, suffering, and non-actuality. The will attaching to its creations only reaps unhappiness in the long run. When we attach to phenomena, we participate in the doom of a phenomenon. In his great wisdom, the Buddha understood that when will gives up its thirst for its own creations, no longer believing that they can give it fulfillment, it finally turns to itself and reaches true fulfillment. In other words, only when the will exhausts its possible constructions of fulfillment does it finally realize that it must seek itself. This is the liberation of will of which the Buddha speaks about many times in Scripture. This is the goal of all meditation also. In the final meditation, the will converges with itself and only itself, which is what Sanskrit is called samadhi and sambodhi. This is a mystical event beyond calculative reason. No philosopher before the Buddha ever thought of this in such a clear and concise way as did the Buddha. The Buddha was the first great religious genius to have seen and understood that the world is a manifestation of will, seeking and thirsting for fulfillment. He saw that all phenomena are actually attempts of the will to come to rest in true, deepest satisfaction. But since each thing is inadequate when compared with the will itself, the will never comes to complete fulfillment. This is what the Buddha calls samsara, in which we're trying to find fulfillment by pursuing its phenomena. Of course, it never finds satisfaction by taking this path. At best, it finds temporary satisfaction. From this, we can also see that nirvana is the will which is coming nearer and nearer to itself, as it were, unbinding itself from its former world, which it believed was fulfilling. The will in nirvana is always experiencing higher and higher grades of fulfillment as it comes nearer to itself. As a rule, advanced students should limit their interactions with people who have not accessed the Buddhic light, who, in fact, belittle it. These people are called the profane, or in Sanskrit, prithajana. Such people believe they can comment on the Buddha's philosophy without having first gained access to the Buddhic light. This is like a sick man reproving a healthy man, even trying to prove that he is actually sick. These same people are unable to see that their very thoughts and emotions are will-produced. Wishing a certain kind of fulfillment which is incomplete, they reap the consequences of anger, disappointment, frustration, depression, and so forth. They will never grasp the Buddha's teaching, so there is no point in discussing spiritual matters with them. The advanced student recognizes that a Buddha's will has come into self-identification with itself. The great will of the Buddha has converged with itself, in awakening, finding everlasting fulfillment. His will no longer thirsts for its idealizations as if fulfillment could be found in generated things and various states of mind. The Buddha's will has also become cool. Like a cooled fire, the will of the Buddha yearns for no more fuel. Nothing more is desired because the Buddha has all that could possibly be. Indeed, this is the meaning of fulfillment. Over many years, the amount of Buddhic light entering the advanced student gradually increases as they continue with their practice of Dark Zen Meditation. One day, the advanced student realizes they are more light than flesh. Their meditation has progressively allowed more of the Buddhic light to enter their vessel of samsara and liberate their being from the wrong belief that they are the corporeal body. With this, the Buddha's teaching becomes even clearer than before. For those who have not accessed the Buddhic light by Dark Zen Meditation, no progress is possible. In the Padasambhidamagga scripture, along these lines, the Buddha says,
"The efficient cause of the in and out breath is the unbound monistic will. One who is ignorant of this state shall not progress."
This is why it is so important for beginners to accomplish Dark Zen Meditation and for advanced students to muster great faith, which will serve to further their progress towards Buddhahood.